Aquarius, hello, it's Lisa. Thank you for coming to my channel. I'm going to be doing the general reading for March 2023. I haven't been here for a couple months. I broke my hand, I had to have surgery, I just had to start shuffling again. So I'm really glad you guys could come back in and join me. I'm going to do a different spread this time. This one is, actually it's a self-care spread. So I don't know if you pay attention to astrology at all or anything like that, but I've been very excited about this for a long time because right now Pluto is going into Aquarius, and it hasn't been there for like over 200 years. Way back from the American Revolution and the Constitution and all that. And it'll be here for 20 years once it gets stationed. But, right, it's going to come in for a couple weeks, a couple months, and then it's going to go away, go back to Capricorn, and come back. And then from that point, it'll be for 20 years. But just the way they consider it, they call it, Pluto's the planet of death and rebirth, which I think is exciting. And it's very karmic, so apparently, people that take advantage of people or people that do things not so great. It's more like big corporation type things, that almost a very Capricorn-y things, because it was in Capricorn for 15 years before this, that will, have to start answering for things that they might have been doing or, hiding for people. So I thought, this is a good time to do something like a self-care, a self-care spread, just to see, to start out this next transit, with a fresh slate. It seemed like a good idea. So we'll see if it is. All right, let's get started. All right, I got the Six of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Wands, the Justice, the Hierophant, the Eight of Coins, the Seven of Coins. 6, 7, 8. Pretty cool. All right, let's see. Can you see them? All right, let's see what we got from that, and then I'll clarify with another deck, and I'll pull an oracle card at the end. All right, let's get started. Now, to begin with, the Six of Coins, this is your feelings right now, and it feels like you want things to be fair, you want things to be equal, you want things to be even. Very Aquarius of you. But also it looks like you may want to, I was noticing on this before, I don't know if you could see it, there's 3 coins on this side, and there's 2 on this one. And it's almost as if saying, yes, I want it to be equal and I want it to be fair, but I want discernment. I want to be able to choose what I'm giving and where and how. So even though you want everything to be, equal for everybody, it still has to be a certain amount of, balance. So equal but balanced. But there's a little bit of almost like you have to earn some of it, though. I don't think this is a card of I'm just going to give it to you because, well, you're here and you should have it. Almost like you need to earn what you're getting. At least that's what it feels like to me. But we'll see. All right. And then we have number 2. We got the Nine of Cups. And this comes up under the section of what do you need to heal? Now with the Nine of Cups, this is like a wishes come true card. Feeling very comfortable, very, very blessed in your situation. And I guess, just to be able to feel like, you feel supported and you feel nurtured and you feel comfortable and having that around you. And I don't know if there's been a point where you've gone through where you didn't feel that like that. Like you didn't feel like you had those comforts of life, and maybe that's where some of the healing has to begin, is where you can get that back, or you have that back, or actually even realize you do have it. So I guess we'll see, because I don't know you. But yeah, I guess it's possible if it's where you need to heal, and there was possibly a hurt, and to be able to heal it, you would need to have, like, your wishes coming true. All right. Let's see, what are you? I'm sorry, this is like the first time I'm doing this one, so I'm kind of, what are you repressing that you need to accept? This feels like you might not want to accept that you have to fight for things. And maybe not just for you, but for others too. That you're going to be defending things. You're going to be fighting for what's right. And you're going to have to stand up for yourself. And maybe others, maybe people in your family, your friends. You're just going to have to stand up for people. Interesting. And there's justice. This is what needs to change in your life that you have been stubborn to accept. Well, we already figured fairness is important to you. Sounds like it. And you want things to be fair. You want things to be... Trying to think of the words. Hold up. See, with justice thing is for good or for bad. It's going to act fairly, regardless. Justice is very karmic too. So I'm thinking that maybe there are things in your life, and again, not calling you out. I'm just going. There may be things that haven't been fair, but not only with other people being involved, but maybe there has been some unfairness to you that you need to accept that it's going to be remedied and go. Wait, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Is there something that you kind of got away with and you shouldn't have? And maybe you're like trying to like make amends for that somehow? Maybe you need to make amends for that? Because I know I've done shit too. I mean, everybody has, right? So, maybe there's a point where you feel like you have to let justice come and solve it, for good or for bad. And I don't know, it doesn't have to be like the law's going to come out and get you. It just might be, all right, well, here's the thing. Did you ever end a relationship with somebody, but you really never knew what you did it for, just you did it? I did that. It was 30 years. I felt horrible about it. I mean, something would come into my head, and we were in high school. But I would think about it, and think about it, and think about it, and finally, literally, saw him on Facebook. It came up as a friend suggestion. I'm like, And I did, and I just said, hey, how you doing? And we actually ended up in a conversation, and we ended up kind of, getting in touch with each other, and we just talked and rehashed and all this stuff. We don't talk to each other all the time now, but, we could still say, happy birthday, or, hey, it's Friday. But it was weird because I felt so guilty about that for so long that I just needed to, go out there and, say this. And I don't know if that's your situation either, but I just feel like there might be something that you need to just apologize, make amends, just say, okay, I was wrong, didn't mean it, that kind of thing. If this is the situation that you might just, maybe you just forgot and you're really thinking, but if it's still in your head, if it's something that comes back, and this was 30 years, but now, if you have something that's in your head and you feel like you need to apologize for, or just to explain yourself to somebody, maybe, that it'll make you feel better. I mean, if it stops, I don't know if that thing that I did with that person was karmic, but I think it was, got off my head. I don't think about him all the time now. just every time something would happen, I'd go, damn, why did I do that? And you don't want to live with that. Just like, if you could figure out a way to make it go away, that might be a good way. And then we have, what do you need to distance yourself from? Oh, the Hierophant. I feel like he's very traditional, conservative. Could be about church, it could be about spirituality. He's also a marriage. So this would depend on how this sits with you. But is there a reason why you would be wanting to separate yourself from very strong traditional views? Or, spiritual aspect of your life? I mean, it could be marriage for some of you. If you aren't really necessarily happy, or you maybe think you have to work things out in some way. All right. We got the 8 of Coins. And what could you welcome into your life? Well, right off, this guy. Hard work. Being like on point about things that you're doing. It doesn't have to be at work, but putting a lot of extra effort and I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. Extra effort and making sure you're not cutting corners in whatever it is that you're doing. So, I mean, it depends on how you are now. I mean, I know sometimes, like, they call it a flibberty gibbet. Sometimes I'm like that when I'm doing something. I'll just try to get by. And so maybe it's just saying, maybe welcome into this more structured, in the box type of work where it's like routine, and you can get into a habit and get into a cycle about it, because it makes it easier as it goes, and not cutting corners. Maybe you're thinking about building something. Maybe you're thinking about, if you're thinking about a business or a job you really want to have, or something that you really want to do that you want to stand out for. And that would be a good thing, right? Let me clarify. Maybe we'll get more answers. And this one. This is like what you need to be grateful for. And I feel like, you would know what you'd be grateful for. But I feel like you know that you are able to grow things, you could build on them, and you have the free will to be able to say, okay, yeah, I could do this, and I could spend time doing it and make it perfect. But if I choose to change, you can. You can change whatever you want. Doesn't have to, stay the same. Like, if this is boring to you eventually, then maybe you want to change it. And you have the right to do that. Everybody's got free will. So you're not stuck in one. That makes me go back to the Hierophant. You don't like being stuck in tradition. Like conservative space, having to, maybe you just aren't big on tradition. I'm not big on tradition. It's just, sometimes it's just a little much, right? It's just like this constant thing where, at this time you do this, and at this year you do this. And it gets old, and maybe it's just not something that thrills you that much. So I think you're grateful the fact that you can change. You can set your mind to something and work at it as hard as you possibly can. But if you choose, you can change it. You're your own person, Huh. Let's see. Let's see what we can clarify. I want to clarify justice. Sun. And the Lovers. That so screams that it feels like once you do that, once you come to the acceptance of, either accepting the apology from somebody or accepting that you have to give an apology to somebody or make nice to somebody, I think it's gonna make you feel really good, make you happy, very happy. And I wonder if it's not gonna lead into something more than that. I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could. If you actually have somebody that you haven't talked to for whatever reason, and, you're thinking about it, and, you want to reach out and say, hey, how are you? And, yeah, I'm sorry I broke your heart or whatever. Or, or what if you're just waiting for somebody else to say something to you, to make up with you, or, just be like, oh, hey, how you doing? And I'm sorry I did this. Then maybe, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in a relationship. That could be a very, very tight friend, too. I'm like shivering around. My house is cold. Oh, we got here. I'm going to do the Hierophant. The Two of Wands. And the Three of Wands. All right, yeah. So it looks like, all right, maybe if you're not big into sticking to traditions or being really inside the box thinking and where structures and institutions and that type of thing, I feel like you're thinking, well, okay, well, yeah, I could do that with this Two of Wands, but I think I'd rather look and see what else is out there with the Three of Wands. That tracks. Okay. Anything else? Let's do the 7. The 5 of Pentacles. And 7 of Wands. All right, so it looks like with the 5 of Pentacles, it's more of like an internal thing where you're feeling like you were left out or you missed something. But with the 7 of Wands, like you had it down here, it's just telling me that you're not allowing yourself to do that. You're not going to talk yourself out of changing something if you feel like it needs to be changed. And you're not going to feel like you're going to miss something either. And this is just a note. We got the 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Anyway, just wanted to note that. But yes, I don't think that that's something you have to be worried about because it just looks like you're going to defend it so it doesn't happen. Or you're going to fight so it doesn't happen. All right, let's see what the moon has to say. Oops. Ooh. Work through your fears. And a time to give rather than take. Well, that's an interesting one. That's a new moon in Virgo. All right. And the moon in Scorpio is work through your fears. That one I get. This means, yeah, if you need to, whatever you need to do to make yourself happy and comfortable, as long as you're being nice and happy with everybody else too, I think it'll work out really nice. All right, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe. Write, comment, let me know how you liked it, if you liked it, and what you think about Aquarius and Pluto. All right, guys. I will probably be seeing you in April because I have people coming this month, so I'm not going to be able to have my space. But I will talk to you soon. See ya.